happens, people. Desktop audio, stream cam. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, how about now? Can you hear me? What about Roxanne?
Hi.
Hi. All right, can you hear us? Tell us if you can hear us, because we were really funny for like 5 minutes.
We were like gold. Like it was gold.
Yeah, so gold. Like I feel really sad that you guys didn't get to hear her. Okay, we have sound. All right, there's sound in live. It's yay. Okay, so everyone, if you have not met Roxanne Wilson, then you are about to meet. So the first time I met her, the first thing I said to her was, I love you, which may have been a little weird. I don't know. It's just like, I love you. I have to know you. And now here she is on Make and Keep More Money here live on Direct Assess. So I'm so excited. Roxanne, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. And I just realized we are on a 1-year anniversary. It was like end of October last year.
Oh,
so we met on that live video. Remember we were on that live party?
It was the anniversary party for Be Live. You're absolutely right. That is so crazy. Oh my gosh. It is. We have no, it's our 1-year anniversary. And it has been a great, great year. I'll tell you something. So one of the greatest things about me meeting Roxanne was that she is like my network marketing guru. So when I told you guys earlier that I was thinking of selling sex toys, the first person I messaged was Roxanne and being like, do you know any direct sales companies that sell sex toys that aren't Pure Romance or Athena? It's just because I'm trying to see the whole thing. Because she knows, oh my God, so many things, like everything that there is to know. I'm so in awe of her knowledge with network marketing. And
yes, and by the way, that's a great message to get at 4:30 in the morning.
That is the first thing she saw in the morning was, do you know anybody who sells sex toys?
Okay.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to tell you this. You're actually, we've known each other for like a year. You're lucky that it took me a year to send you that text first thing in the morning. Like, I'm just saying, like, sometimes it comes a lot earlier. Like, you know, like 5 days after we met. Hey, dude, do you know where I can buy some sex toys? Yeah, no, don't worry, you guys. It was definitely me. Every time we do this on Zoom, I forget to attach the sound, and then we just talk for a while. But Roxanne, recently, you did a podcast recently with Megan and Colleen about, you were talking, initially it started out and you were talking about Lulu Rich, and it was about sort of commenting on that. But there was episode 2 was like super important. Was it episode, no, it was the end of episode 2, beginning of episode 3. So critical, where you guys started talking about finances. And I want to hear, because what we're sharing with you today I believe came from that kind of conversation or that idea. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it did in a lot of ways. So yes, so we got together to talk about the thing that is Lulu Rich. And I want to just disclaim for everyone, my standpoint on that entire thing is that could be any network marketing company.
Mm-hmm.
It can happen to any and all of us. And so I think it's good for us to look at it, even though it can be difficult to look at. In that conversation, one of the things that really came up as we were watching Lulu Rich and relating that to our network marketing experiences is that money and finances really plays a big part in how, in our longevity, in our happiness, in our success, and the opposite of all those things in network marketing. It's always been this thing of mine that I've always had this issue with, okay, are we spending more than we're making? Are we paying attention to this? Because something that I've seen with my clients, especially during the holiday season, is you see there's all these opportunities to spend all this money on specials and deals and buy-ins to special groups that your upline might have, where it's like we're giving rebates.
Yeah.
And no one's considering how much money are you making from that and how much did you spend on that? Or, for example, running for big events and trips and things, you think, well, let me just buy a bunch of inventory. Totally fine to do if you actually know how much you're spending and how much you're making. So it's always been a thing of mine that's something that we should be discussing. But as we were talking through Lulu Rich, it became abundantly clear that finances it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that we don't talk about in network marketing. Really don't. You talk about the money you're going to make, and people like to show their paychecks on social media. We need to stop, but people like to do that. And they talk about all this, retire your husband, but no one actually talks about the expenses and how much you're making. And it's weird, Melissa, because I was thinking, and I was actually talking to Megan somewhere about this just today. It's funny to me because when someone gets drafted to the NFL, one of the first things they do is they have like a financial university where they go through expenses with them and they talk about things that can come up and being and saving and just being aware of all the things. They even talk about prenups, go figure. And yet, well, and it makes sense. Right? Because it does. And they know that most people don't have a Tom Brady career in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Most people are going to be in and out very quickly. So what can you do to make sure you leverage that money and you're successful? We don't learn that in network marketing. So people make like, all of a sudden you're making all this money and you're not even taught what to do with it or how to hang on to it. And so all of that begat a business tracker that was something that's been marinating and in several heads, I think, for a while, and was a labor of love. I thought I was going to pull my hair out. It's okay, I can buy some more, but still it was an issue. And so now what I've done is really created a tracker that allows you easily, even if you don't like numbers, to be really aware of how much money you're making, how much money you're spending, and it allows you to look at your goals, your volume, and see trends, so we can see how things are going, and so you can plan it in advance.
Oh my gosh, dude, there's so much in there that you said that was amazing. Okay, I want to come back to like right at the beginning. You said something about like, you know, in the NFL, they go in and they're given that university, which they didn't used to give them that university. And what happened was you'd have a lot of NFL players who would come in, blow through all of their money, and then they would have nothing so they'd make millions of dollars and then have nothing at the end. And then you have people like Marshawn Lynch, who are so freaking smart. The guy comes in, he powers through beast mode for 3 years and then retires. He's like, I'm done. And he just takes the money. It's like that. You can live off of that kind of thing.
Yes.
But I think that one of the things that you said is so interesting because, you know, when I joined network marketing, by the way, LaFern, are you guys able to hear her better now? I just want to make sure, because you mentioned that you couldn't hear Roxanne super well. I put the mic in a closer place because I understand why that was happening now. So let me know if that's working. It should be okay now. Is that when I signed up for Lulu or when you sign up for network marketing, often they'll tell you that you're now a business owner, right? And which is, I believe that you are, but what they don't teach you is the tools that it takes to be a business owner, the most important of which is, well, to be a business owner, you've got to understand your money, like what's coming in, what's coming out. And I think the key there is the difference between cash flow and profit, right? Because like, I'm making money, like I'm selling, because one of the things I see with a lot of my clients initially, at least, was that they're like, I'm making all this money, but like, I'm always feeling like I'm poor, or like I have no money, or like I don't know what to do with it. And why am I always feeling so scared? And it's because like, am I here? Like based off what you're saying, it sounds like what this will allow you to do is see the difference between that. Like it looks like you have a lot of money coming in, but really this is what you actually have. Is that sort of what this helps to do?
Absolutely. Because you can literally, so for example, if you're buying inventory, right? You're going to track that inventory. That's going to be expensive sitting there looking at you. So as you start to bring money in and you're tracking your income that's coming in, you'll see that feeling that they were having is they're probably dead on, but you'll be able to see at what point you break even very easily without having to do any math or numbers. Then you'll also be able to see when certain things happen at certain months, certain times. You've got, like for some network marketing companies, you do have to do that inventory, or others who don't have inventory, you do have to do that inventory expense, right? But if you're able to see that and know what's going on, you can get really clear and aware. And also, Vanessa, I think we forget as network marketers that all those things we spend money on our expenses, like packaging, like the pen that you're using to write on the postage, the envelopes, all of those things are business expenses that we need to be keeping track of, just so we know we can feel good about our business. There's nothing wrong with spending money in your business. It's just being aware of, am I trending up or down, and am I okay with that in that moment? But if you don't know, and then you wait till tax time and you find out, you're like, wait, how much did I not make?
Oops.
I wasn't aware of that. I thought I made what my checks, I was making this money. I had a show and I made $10,000, and you think that's how much you made, but that's not actually how much you made, because you paid something to get there.
It's interesting. You were talking about the price that you pay and the income and the expenses and that kind of thing. And one of my ex-husbands, I actually only have one ex-husband, but I don't know why I was about to say one of my ex-husbands. one of the
Jesus,
many. You know how it is. So my ex-husband, what he used to do was like, he would always talk about big purchases as one-time buys. So it's a one-time buy. It's a one-time buy. It's a one-time buy. And I'm like, hey, after a while, one-time buy, like, yes, okay, you bought the computer. It's only one-time buy. But then if next month you buy something else for $2,000, that's another. It's not a one-time buy anymore. Now it's routine expenses. And I think that when we run our businesses, the way that we tend to do it, at least initially in network marketing, is, well, it's just, I just spent $10 on these tchotchke giveaways, and I just spent $15, and we put the word just in front of, I just did this, oh, I just did that. And just to see if, like, you know, so it doesn't impact us as much. And then when we look at our bank account, we're not sure where all the money went. And that's scary.
That is scary. You know, it's funny you said that. I was working with a client the other day, and she was getting ready for the holiday season, and she was trying to decide what special she was going to do, and she wanted to give like gift cards and things. And I said, well, hold on, just out of curiosity, do you have any inventory? She's like, I think I have some. She went and all of a sudden brought forth all of these products that she'd bought over the last year, and all of these things she saw on Amazon that would be great little gifts. And it was like baskets worth of. And I said, hold the phone. You're not spending any money on any specials. You've got it all right here. Like, this money that you've spent,
yeah,
make this work for you. And she said to me a week later, she said, I had no idea how many things I'd bought and had been storing until you actually asked me and I brought it out. And that's where we're going here, right? It's fine. It's great. She's got it. We've got to be clear on what that is and make sure that we are using that for our benefit. And if we don't keep track of these things, it's really hard for us to build our business and to be happy. I would be willing to bet that most people who leave network marketing, or a good number of them, do because they didn't make the money they thought they were going to make.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if we unpeeled that and looked back into, and, you know, drilled down, times they didn't make the money they thought they were going to make because they were spending more money thinking that they were making more money in that moment in time.
Yep.
But if someone could look and say, oh my goodness, I made $200 last month and I spent $100. So I made $100. They can at least look and go, I made money. If you make $200 and you spend $500, then it's like, I lost money in this investment. And that's where, when people realize that, they get really disenchanted with the industry as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think, you know, something else that you said about like making sure you're being aware, because really, I think, you know, like you said, it doesn't matter what, if you're going to spend money on your business, go ahead, right? Nobody's saying not to spend money, but it's about knowing where that money is, because it's, you know, I think a lot of times we do money in our heads, right? So like, it's like, oh yeah, do this, and then the math in the head. And not only is that just bad practice for you psychologically because of all the information you have to keep track of, but it's also then, and I've noticed this habit, I had this habit for sure, and I've definitely noticed this habit in a lot of my clients, is playing with money that isn't there. Like, okay, well, so like, all right, because if you're already doing all the money in your head, then, oh, well, I'll make $500 from that sale, I'll do $200 from that. It's just as real as the expenses that you actually have a receipt for. So they're both equally real, even though one is not real and one is actually real. And it ends up creating like a, did you find that happening when you were, I mean, you still do a lot of direct sales training.
Absolutely. You know what I find too is spending the money over and over again. Because when it's in your head.
Same dollar twice.
Yeah.
Or 4 or 5 times.
For that. And for that. And for that. It's like, wait a moment, that was still just like, that was $1. You just spent that $1 10 times.
Oh my gosh, I've so done that.
Right? It's so easy to do. I catch myself doing it. I do that just on a regular basis, and I have to tell myself, write it down. Like, really, where's that money going? And when you write it down, it's amazing how it can get really clear. It all works out. You just have to write it down so you know, because you will double spend and triple spend. I can't tell you how many network marketers I know who enjoyed the upswing of their business, making a great amount of money monthly. And then when things change, because things do happen, your team is going to grow, your team is going to go like this, right? It gets bigger and smaller. Mm-hmm. And your hope is that it continues even through that to go up. But for those whose teams get smaller and that money they were expecting, right? We're expecting that money to come in on a regular basis, stops coming in. What happens? Then it gets harder. If we're spending all of it, and we're not living within our means, it gets to be very difficult. And I'm not saying, listen, this is not a judgment on anyone's spending habits at all. It's just being really aware of it and being aware too that with network marketing, that money does ebb and flow. It does.
Absolutely. And I think, you mentioned about teams, right? Because like when I think about my team, so when I was selling, my team and a couple other teams, they were, and even now when you see people who comment on my posts and stuff like that, they always talk about how we train on business and money and spreadsheets, and and our team did really, really well. And I think that one of the things that is it's so bizarre because we almost create the environment that suffocates us. So like if you're a leader in the field and you don't give your team financial training or don't give them a tracker like this, right? And that's why I think this tracker is so powerful, because maybe you don't understand your finances. You hire it out, right? That's not your job is not to understand their finances. But if they don't have that tool, then you have a whole team of people who are like floundering. If you give them this tool, right, and what it allows you to do then, is they can now track their expenses, so your team overall ends up making more money, being stronger and healthier. So now more people want to join your team. But it's bizarre, I think, because it's such a small step, and people don't feel like this small step will make such a difference. But I also feel like, and this is what you did in here. So the hardest part is the system. There's no system. Like all these systems are designed for like QuickBooks and other financial FreshDesk and all those things. They're all designed to help, not FreshDesk, FreshBooks, to help. I was like, wait, that's tech support.
I like it.
Yeah,
Sounds
sure.
good.
Let's go with it. But they're all designed to help any business, right? But they are definitely not designed for network marketers. And so if you're going to use it, you have to figure out how to force your stuff into it, which doesn't work. And so it's frustrating, and then you give up. And what's great about this is that what you set up is specifically for network marketers. So it will allow them to actually, you know what? We'll show it to you.
Want to see it?
Yeah, let's show it. Okay, hold on. Why don't we show it? All right, so I'm gonna let me get this up here.
Hold on.
All right. Did you stop sharing?
I thought I did. Yes, I think I stopped sharing.
You did, but then Zoom disappeared. Hold on. Zoom disappeared completely.
Yeah, weird things happen on my screen as well.
Yeah, weird things are happening, guys. Weird things are happening. Let's see if it'll work now. Oh my God, I think we broke my system.
I'm thinking that my system's broke too.
Wait, did you break the system?
I might have broken the internet.
I think they can all hear us now, so this is fun. You guys can at least hear us, right? So you can hear us doing this. This is really fun. So I was so excited to be able to show this because I did all this new Streamlabs stuff and it was super fun. But now it's just like, I don't know, like the whole thing has disappeared. Everything. All right, I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
Roxanne is loud.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you can hear me. Let me try again because my screen did something super weird. Let's try it again. All right, ready? Can you see now?
Everything disappeared. Like everything.
I'm going to close it completely. Can you see me now?
No, I don't think it's you. I think it's me. Hold on. I'm going to remove this from the screen. I'm going to add it back. Okay, we're going to do this, guys. We've got this. We are team working. Carolyn, you're here. Oh my God, Carolyn. Hi. I'm so excited to see Carolyn. Carolyn is one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Oh.
All right, let's try Zoom. Add source. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. How embarrassing. All right.
You see now?
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to close out of Streamlabs and come back, which will be fine. No, do I really want to do that? I don't really think I want to do that. I was like, I don't want to do that. Oh, hold on. This is Zoom mock-up here. I wonder. Okay, well, this is me and Alex. Everyone can see me and Alex now. That's not what it is. You're hidden. Oh, hold on. I know what it might be. Hold on. Give me a sec. All right, let me lock everything else. Oh, you know what it might be? It might be that it's big and like I can't actually see the thing. All right. Well, we're never going to do that again, Roxanne.
Never say never. Never say never.
We're never doing this again. I'm going to say, all right, let's see what we can do. Built-in webcam. I'm going to try media source. At the very worst, we'll just jump in again. We'll dive in, go live one more time, and then we'll pick everybody up. All right, I'm going to do window capture. We're going to try one more time. Add source. Okay, I'm going to add a new source.
Oh, yeah, so that no one can see us. I'm looking at it now.
No, but they're all.
You have the best. I love your frames.
Okay. Ha! All right, here you go.
Oh! I see something.
There we go. We did it. Okay. We did it. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I'm gonna just leave it here for. Hey, we can see each other. This is great. Okay. All right. Let's try this. Okay. We're gonna try, and you're gonna share your screen again. And we're gonna tempt fate.
Yes, ma'am. Ready?
All right. Let's do it.
And go.
All right. Fuck! It disappeared again. There's something about your screen sharing that's the problem. Okay, so we're not gonna.
It's not me. It's me.
No, it's not you. It's you. It's definitely you. No, it's not you. I think it's definitely me, but I think it's like a combination of you, me. So we won't show it now because we can't. Window capture 3. However, what we're gonna do instead is I'm going to tell everybody Windows 10 automatic.
Oh yeah, now it's just our names.
Now it's just our names. I had everything there and then everything disappeared again.
I mean it's modern technology.
Modern technology, it's fine. People are watching, they're all like they're enjoying us sitting here going through this. Also, guys, look, here's the thing. Here is the key thing here, right? Is you can't even see me and I'm waving my hands around. So the key thing here is that everybody goes through this, right? And it's not about whether you have the problems, because you are going to run into problems. Okay. All right.
Amen.
You are going to run into problems, but
with it.
It's how you roll with it. Okay. All right. This is going to be it. Okay. Done. All right. And we're not messing with this anymore. Okay. We're not messing with this anymore. Look, I see Roxanne. Thank goodness. I see me. We're happy. Oh my God. I'm so happy. I've never been happier to see your face, Roxanne.
Wow.
This is the happiest day of my life right now. All righty. Okay.
So yeah, I see us now. Okay. So envision, picture it, Sicily, 19 whatever. Yeah. Okay. When you open the business tracker bundle, you're going to get the big things that you need to know how to track. All right. So first and foremost, I will just say there's a beautiful dashboard that will show you how you're doing monthly, that will have your goals and how you're trending. So as you put in your volume every single day, you're going to have an ability to see how you're tracking with your volume, your personal volume, your team volume, with your, I'm cheating and looking, your customer base, whether you have new customers, new, whatever you call them, whether they're retailers, advocates, consultants, it's all right there. And then also experiences, events, parties, the showcases, whatever you call those things that you're doing that are bringing people to the fold. And then also it's going to track the amount of people, for those of you who are team building, on your team that have reached a certain magic level. And for every magic rank, and for every network marketing company, that's a different rank. But there's a rank that if you have a lot of people on your team that are at that rank, it just raises the tide.
It's like the critical mass point.
Yes.
At which, totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you also on your tracker will see your expenses and your income for the month. So just know that you'll have that dashboard to see how you're doing. There is a spot for volume tracking. So every day you go in there and you just say what you tell us, what you tell yourself. You're not telling me, but you're going to track what your volume is, how it ends for the day, where you're at, so that your cumulative volume. It also will let you know how you're doing and trending from the past month, which is super powerful information to have and to know, so you can see how you're trending. For those of you who have teams, it's going to be really powerful too, because as you keep on using this tracker, you'll be able to see what times of the month may be big bumps for you. Mm-hmm. And you'll know, so if you're getting towards the end of the month and you're like, okay, typically the last 3 days or 5 days, maybe the last week, I know I have an 8% bump or whatever it may be, it's going to show you that.
Dude, that's so critical. Do you mind if I stop on that really quickly to talk about that briefly? Because here's why this is so important. And I'll tell you when I realized this. So Syra and I, in like our second year, we, realized that we'd been going through these, we didn't know at first this was happening, but we would have these ebbs and flows, ups and downs, psychological trauma, super excited. And after we started keeping track of our expenses, I noticed that the last 4 days and the first 4 days of every month were really slow, and that the second week and the third week were our peak, and that it would start to go down. And I realized it's because when our clientele tended to get paid. And also it was that people saved their money. Like they paid all of their bills we had a client group that paid their bills all at the beginning of the month. So like not everybody does, but they did. And so for them, they would save everything till the end of the month. They'd pay it all off. So they would have to now rebuild their coffers. They'd rebuild that and then buy week 2, week 3. So we started putting all of our big sales in the middle of the month because we recognize that that's when everybody is actually shopping. And then we really gave ourselves a break, or if we were going to take time off, that all happened in the beginning or the end of the month, because people weren't going to be buying anyway. And us doing like 18 times the work to try and get like half the amount of sales was not helpful at all. Kirsten says she has the same thing, but you can't notice that until you start putting these numbers in. And so like, it's almost like your tracker. It's not just a tracker. It's also like I almost want to call it like a peace of mind tool. It's a strategic engine that lets you make decisions about moving forward based off of your historical trends.
So true. And to add to that, I love what you said, it's also going to show you seasonal trends, because if you are able to look and see that, for example, October is just a slow month for you.
Yeah.
So you might have ended October going, oh, that stunk. But if you look back on the year before and see October was slow that month, that year as well too, those emotional roller coasters, like you mentioned, are not as big of a deal when you realize, oh, October happens to be a slow month. Knowing that, you go in understanding that. It also allows you to go, wait, October is typically a slow month. So maybe I can either accept that it's going to be a slow month. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm not going to try and spin my wheels, or let me incentivize people to buy in October if I want to try and bump that up in some way.
So you know what I do? What I started doing is, because my clients tend to have, in April and May and June and then August are bad months for them because they are parents, kids, blah, 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 right? So what the third option that you have is you can use that as a time to, like, you have a holiday planning bundle as well, right? A holiday planning bundle. And so what I started training people to do, and I don't really train on this in the squad anymore because I shifted my focus, but for anyone who is looking for this kind of tool, what's really great is if October is a slow month for you, then use October, buy, Roxanne's holiday planner, and then plan for November, December, so that now all you're doing in November, December is executing, and now you're not planning and executing at the same time. It's actually, I remember when I realized that about 3 years ago, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. And I think it's because, tell me what you think about this idea. The reason why I think that we think this way is because the way that network marketing is set up is that every month is a brand new month and you start at zero. Right. And so even if your last month, let's say the goal to like qualify for whatever it is $600. And let's say last month your goal was to hit 600, but you hit like 1,500 and you're like ridiculously excited. You still start the next month at zero. So you're starting from that feeling again, right?
Oh, but yeah.
In retail, that's not how it works. In actual business, you have to look at it in like a year-long thing and have it be, okay, these 3 months are going to suck. These 4 months are going to be good. So I'm going to make the money that I need to offset these months in these months. But I think the way you were saying it earlier with, if you don't know what your cash in or cash out is, or you don't know what your actual expenses are, what your months look like, then you spend the money as it comes in. And then when you have lean months, you're freaking out. Whereas you could mitigate that so I'm curious to know, do you think that I think that the central problem is that we look at it month to month rather than over the course of a year? Or
I think
longer term.
That definitely could be it. It's funny you say that, because one of the things I teach my clients when we go through the holidays is I tell them, look at October, November, and December, the last quarter of the month, or the last quarter of the year, and look at how much you want, like, where do you want to be the first of whatever year, 2022. Mm-hmm. Now I tell them, rather than, because here's what we think. We're like, oh, I want to hit those numbers. Like, whatever your goal is, whether it's volume or monetary goal, now let's look at what you have going on in October, November, and December. Is there time you're planning on taking off? Is there something coming up? People visiting? Take that into account. Take your goal for the last 3 months of the year and then divide it up amongst those 3 months, but not evenly, because divide up based on what's going on in those months. And then also remember, people stop shopping when that last day of free shipping hits. People stop shopping. People stop shopping from us, right? Unless you have inventory on stock, they're going to buy at any store that they can get it immediately. Mm-hmm. So we think of December as this big month, but December is actually not a long month when it comes to selling, right? So we can't even treat that as a complete month. So I always tell them November should be where the bulk of your sales happen. Now, with things happening over the last 2 years, maybe that's really October has a bigger chunk of the change than it did before. But when we look at it that way, I'm with you, because I encourage people to stop looking at things like month to month and look at it more as a quarterly thing. So I think that you've got that has a lot of teeth. Also, I'm with you too, when it comes to the psychological feeling. I remember that psychological feeling of seeing your numbers at the end of the month and be like, wow, look at that volume. And then you wake up the next morning and it's like a big fat zero.
Failure! You have to climb the hill all over again.
And it's like, oh so yeah, I'm right there with you.
And I think it's it's hard to do that. And that's why I kept my finances. And I actually wanted to ask you about this. So, the tools that I've seen in any direct sales company, they're fine. Like, they're fine. But I've never found them useful in terms of planning my future. So, and this is not a knock on any direct sales company. I don't actually even think that that's a direct sales company's job. I think it's a direct sales company's job to provide you with all of your numbers, but that as a business owner, it's your responsibility to figure out what works for you, what resources and tools, like they should be providing you with all the raw numbers. Mm-hmm. But so they don't usually provide that. So, does this will act? So let me just ask that. I've lost the thread of the question. So if someone has the numbers from their home office system, would they just go punch it in this? Like, is it just a copy paste type thing?
Absolutely. So what you can do is literally look up your numbers and go, what's my volume? It's the 5th. What is my volume for the last 5 days? And then you just pop in that volume number on the 5th, and that you just keep on popping in the numbers as they come in. So you're just taking that information that you're getting and you're populating it. Also, and this is something that's come up for companies that have, or let me say again, for retailers that have stock on hand, right? Keeping track of what you're selling there, because that might not be a number that corporate has per se, but you have that, you know how much you sold at like a holiday bazaar, an event, or whatever it may be, keeping track of those numbers as well too. So it keeps you have an ability to have all that volume in one spot. But yes, so you take those numbers that you're getting, and you don't have to actually take the numbers and try and figure out what it all means, because the tracker is going to tell you what it means based on what you put in.
I love that. And now Kirsten said that you might want to jump on it in January. I'm actually going to recommend that you do it now. Here's why. The way that, so if you start in Jan, and this is something it took me a while to figure out that this was what generally tends to happen with us when we take on new things. So like, let's say, for example, you're like, I'm going to start in January. So you're going to grab it in January, and then you're going to spend a week just trying to like figure it out. And I'm going to ask about, Roxanne has a great training thing on that as well. So you're going to start feeling behind from the moment you start, right? Because we're starting in Jan, and then you're like, okay. So what I do, and this is like, it's been a great trick that's helped me for the last 6 years, is that whenever I'm like, I know I'm going to do something. So like, for example, I know that I'm going to do Google Ads, right? I set up the whole thing in advance, like slowly over the course of, like, I get the software, I sign up. So you get the tracker or whatever, right? Then you just fill it in, but you don't really look at it. You just keep putting the numbers in, so you get in the habit of looking at the numbers. And then when I'm ready, which I've done this with numbers too, right? I did this with my finances when I was having nervous breakdowns with them. Then when I was ready, all I do then is I sit down and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch the video and learn how to use it and what does it mean and do all that. And I have all that historical data that then I don't have to go in and enter. If you start it, like if you're like, I will start it later, then when you're really mean is I'm starting it in probably February or March, because it's going to take you like a month or two to sort of like get into the groove. And then not just with this tracker, I do this with every piece of software. If I'm like, oh, I want to use Agorapulse, or I want to use Later, I'll just go in and like just start putting stuff in there just so that I can get like uploading images, and just so I can get comfortable with it, because I know that if I try to sit down and do it, then I have to learn how to use the software, understand what it's doing. I have to figure all of those things out at once. And that's actually 6 or 7 tasks. That's not just one task. So Roxanne, based off of that, because I really want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Training, dude. Tell me about your trainings.
Yes. Okay. First of all, I'm so glad you said that because I'm 100%. It's intentional that it's coming out now and not in January when we're doing all the New Year's resolutions or whatever, New Year's, New You, whatever you want to call it. Because of what you just said, but also because your holiday numbers are so important. And even if you can get some of those into the tracker now, that's going to give you some type of knowledge that's going to help you next holiday season. Training wise, as you mentioned, yes. So when you get your tracker, you will see bit by bit, I walk you through how to use each and every one of the different elements of the tracker, of the different bundles. I don't think I list them off. So you have a year-to-date tracker where you get to see where you're doing, how you're doing for the entire year on your expenses and your income and on your volume, team and personal. You get your volume tracker, which incorporates your personal volume, your team volume. There's also a spot for you to keep track of your generations and the ranks, how many people in your organization are at specific ranks. You have the goal tracker, which targets the goals, not only volume, but also goals that are going to help you get to that volume. And then you have the financial tracker with your income and expenses. I walk you through how to use all of those things so that you have there's no issues. It's all there. And of course, if you have any questions, they're there for you. But I do it all. So it's like 30 minutes total, but they're all in bite-sized pieces. Mm-hmm. So you can, even if you want to start with one tracker, you can start with that tracker and get going on it. In addition to that, you're going to get little surprises along the way that are going to really help you get focused on keeping track of it. And I also do live kickoff calls as well too, just to get people going because a lot of people are now getting the tracker. And I want you to just be really, really familiar and really comfortable with it. And I should mention that when you get the tracker now, you get all updates. So as we update it, I learned the hard way in Vanessa. You have this vision of like, it's going to look like this and be all these things and I want these bells and whistles. And I had to slow my roll and go, oh, this is why an iPhone, well, not that Vanessa has an iPhone, but this is why an iPhone comes out every year. Right?
Absolutely. It's iterative progress.
Yes. You can't just do it all at once. I wanted it all done at once. So there's already in the works, we have some really special additions that are coming to the tracker just to beef it up even more. And there's also going to be a spot where if you have suggestions, bring them because we'd love to hear them. But when you get the tracker now, you get all of those updates. So you're buying it once and enjoying it time after time.
Well, actually, I'm so glad. God, Haley, dude, you're so connected in my brain right now. That was the very next question I was going to ask. So one of the things I know you did, so I'm just going to come around and say you did it, is you customized it for a bunch of different companies. So can you, what companies? Tell me what companies, because I know you've got Bomb Party. I know you've got Lulu. What else do you have?
This is a test. You're testing me, so I'm going to look. Yes. So
we don't have to memorize it.
You know, when I was little, there was a song that came out. It was like Big Mac, McDLT, a quarter pounder with some cheese, filet of fish, a hamburger, a cheeseburger, Happy Meal, McNuggets, tasty golden fries, and regular or larger size, and salads, fresh or garden, or chicken salad, Oriental. And yeah, that's what that reminded me of. Okay.
Wow,
so
you remembered all of it.
I did. There's more to it, but essentially I got it. Okay. So there's a classic bundle that everyone can use that's universal. And I actually walk you through how to customize it. However, I have customized it for specific network marketing companies, and there's more to come. So if you have one, you're like, do it. I'm getting requests and we're working on that as well too. But so let me just list them off. We have, as you mentioned, Bomb Party and Lulu, Rodan and Fields, Modere, Green Compass, UBAM / Usborne Books and More, Scout and Cellar, Color Street, Pampered Chef, Zaya, Hue and Grace, in Silvassa, Savvy, My Daily Choice, Noonday, Isogenics is coming, and Arbonne is coming soon, and then more to come.
Wonderful. Oh my God, that's so many. Just so you know, I remember when I first looked at it, there were like only a couple, but you've been adding them. Like you must be getting so many requests. Like, can you do This is epic. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, what's great is that means that people are using it. Like that's the key is like for me. So I'm going to just completely, I wanted to say this, which is why I took no affiliate. I'm getting no affiliate income off of this. For me, and you know me, I am all about making money. I am all about helping other people to make money. But for this particular thing, Roxanne and I actually had a conversation in the middle of the morning. Both of us had just woken up and we're just like, what? And I
tried to give her money, y'all.
She did. And I was so inarticulate in how I said it. I was just like, no. So here's why though. Because there are some things that I think transcend my desire here at this moment. Like, I want to promote the shit out of this, right? And I want you to get all the money, Roxanne. And the reason why is because this product is something that I have felt has been needed in the network marketing space for years. And we had something very detailed for Lulu back in the day that Sarah and I used, but we never made it for other people. We just made it for ourselves and we shared it with other people. But like, it was fine, but it was not anything awesome. But so when we left, I was like, this is what's needed, but I had no idea how to do it. And the scope of what you've done is magnificent because it's so big, like with all of the companies. And that's where I got intimidated. I was like, I don't even know how to do this. I don't know how to think about this. And then I was just like, oh, it's so sad that this doesn't exist. And then Roxanne sends me a message and she goes, so I made this tracker thingy here. What do you think? And I'm like, this is better than I could have ever dreamed of. Like, I was just like, oh my God, can I hug it? I just want to hug it. And the reason, pharmacy. Okay. So it looks like Java Mama and pharmacy are 2 requests.
Okay. All right. Let me write those down.
And then Haley has a question. She said, if we have more than one company, what is the best plan of action?
Oh my goodness. I love you, Haley. The best thing to do is to purchase the one you want, or one of them. You want them both. And then send us a message and just say, I'm also with this company, and we will send you the version for that other company as well too.
Wonderful. Okay, so you'll have for both. Oh, did you say paparazzi on that one? You might want to put paparazzi on it too.
I didn't, but let me put that on there.
Paparazzi. Okay, I'm just, as I'm thinking of the clients that I have working in various places, I'm like, oh yeah, that one too.
Let me also mention this. So yes, more coming, but I want you guys to know this as well too. If you're like, okay, but I want to get started, get the classic bundle. When you purchase and you check out, we ask you what network marketing company you're with, so that when yours comes, like for example, if you're in pharmacy, when pharmacies comes, we will send you pharmacies. So nice. You get the custom one.
That is awesome. That is so cool. Yeah. Okay. So there were a couple things I made we've already, oh my goodness, like we're already almost at 12:30. How does that even happen? With you, Roxanne, it's just like time flies so quickly. It's like, all right, we talked about what is included. How long are we going to, okay, we have to, okay. So, one of the things, actually, I think we got through all my questions. I realized that the question I had was, how long were you in network marketing and your team, blah, blah, blah. What does it include? We talked about that. Okay, I want to ask, was there anything I didn't ask you that you want to make sure that people know?
Yes. No. Yes. This is important. I know you've said this, but I just want to reiterate, this is important. And the reason, I almost feel like you hear voices in your head going, well, if this is so important, why don't you just offer it for free? Because I know that when I've offered things for free in the past, nobody uses them.
No one will use it. You won't use it.
No one will use it.
You won't use it. And that's the key, is you have to, like, I had the squad really cheap for a while and people joined it and they never did any of the work. Mm-hmm. I think it's important to charge for it, but and so I want to make sure I'm being very clear here. It is so important. In fact, I think it's important to charge more for it, because the more you charge for it, in fact, when Roxanne told me how much it was, I said, this needs to be way more expensive than what you're offering.
And I am. PS, and by the way, on the 1st of next year, January 1st, the price is going to go up. So that price, it will trickle up. What we've done, just since you mentioned price, right now it's $47. We made the decision yesterday. We're going to keep that price through Black Friday. So it's the Black Friday.
Nice, early, and that will be the price. My God, that's amazing.
Through really Small Business Saturday, because it seems like wrong not to have it on that weekend, right?
It's true.
But then after that, the price will go up. I'm not sure what the price will be at that point, but it will go up to $97 for sure on January 1st. So no, it's $47 now. It will be more than $47 for the end of November, December, and then it's going to go up to $97. So I mean, get it when you want it, but now is a good time.
Right. And you know what? Don't do what I do, right? So what I always do is I'm like, oh yeah. But so Searchy, I'm just going to tell you guys this story.
I love me some Searchy.
Oh my God. 2 years ago, I met a woman at Facebook. Okay. So I was hanging out at the Facebook, something that they did, the boost, whatever. We're standing in line waiting. And she says, she's something Searchy, something Stu. I'm like, oh, whatever. Right. She sends me an email. She gives me the link. I go to it. It's brand new and nobody's ever used it. $500 lifetime membership, $500. And I'm like, I'm never going to use this. This is whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Now I'm paying all the money. So guys, don't make that mistake. Because here's the thing, right? So first of all, if it was free, then you wouldn't use it. But for me, and I want to come back and say this super clear, is that I think that what Roxanne has built is so important that I can't take money away from the creator in this case. Like, it's so rare that happens, but like, this is so important. I want you to get everything from it, and you guys have to buy it. Like, I don't usually pimp this way, and that's actually also why I didn't want to have the affiliate, because it makes me freer to be able to just say, dude, I'm getting nothing from this. I just need you to buy this. Whereas if I'm making money off of it, I'm still doing some money mindset stuff where I'm working through like that feeling of ickiness that comes from like pushing something so hard. I'm working on it with my money mindset coach and my therapist. But if I'm not getting anything, then I can just come right out and say, dude, I'm not getting anything, but please go buy this. If you do nothing else, buy this piece of software, because I can tell you, my team did really well at Lulu, and it did really well because we had a tracker like this. Without this kind of tracker, you just can't. If you're making money, it's by accident, and you don't want to make money by accident, right? Pimp this way, dude. I love pimping this way. Stamp it up. Okay, so this is an interesting question. So what if you own your own company? How can we do that, dude? That's a really, really, really good question, because that's obviously something Roxanne and I deal with. I want to first ask Roxanne, like, generally speaking, if somebody wants to keep track of their finances, I know, because having looked at the tracker, I know that this won't work for it, but what would you recommend to somebody who's like, okay, well, I'm not in direct sales, but I do want to watch my finances. What do I do? I recommend using the tracker that I personally use for my non-network marketing business. And because I believe in like sharing the love. Her name is Kate Farrow. I can get you her link. But she has a business tracker for business people. And it's phenomenal. And that's what I'd recommend. Fabulous. I love that. For me, what I recommend on the way that I do it is I would use that tracker, because I only have, so Alex and I had to come up with I have a lot of money hangups that I'm working through, right? And I've been working through them for a long time. That's why I have a money mindset coach. But for the last 2 years to do finances, I cried the whole time. So like, I would sit there, and all I was doing was taking money from my bank account and putting it in the spreadsheet. And then Alex took care of doing all of the stuff. I was just calculating profit and loss. And it didn't matter what the numbers were. I cried because of the trauma that I have associated with money, right? So I want to say this for any of you who have that kind of trauma associated with money. Go ahead and cry. Just cry. I cried like a kid throwing a tantrum, and I was almost hopeful that if, like, I don't know what I was hoping. I was kind of hoping he'd see me crying and be like, oh, honey, you don't have to do it. And I'd be like, okay, fine. But, I had to do it, because otherwise you don't know where your money is. But I learned that I am not comfortable or don't want to spend the time or capable, whatever the answer is, of doing all of the analysis and putting it where it goes. So I have him do it. So other people hire bookkeepers, other people hire accountants. Whatever it is, it's so important that you know what your relationship with money is. But regardless of whether you have an accountant, a bookkeeper, or someone who does all of that as your business, you have to know what your finances are like. So even if you have to cry through it, and now I don't cry through it at all. You'll get there. Even if you have to cry through it, do it. Even if you're only putting in the numbers just to put in the numbers and then not looking at it till you can work your way up to looking at that, baby steps. But don't not do it because of the emotional baggage on there. That is like so critical, I think.
That's so important. I know what you said is so true. It may not be fun, but do it. I do think when you have some type of tracker, though, it makes it less painful, which
Absolutely.
is the goal.
Oh my God, that's the key. I made my own for my own, and it's shit. Whatever, like what I'm doing for my business, it's just lines of text. Alex says something crazy. You've built something that makes it easy and fun. Like if I had your tracker, or maybe if I'd had her tracker, maybe I'll go get that tracker and just start doing that.
I'll get you the link.
Get me that, because I don't want to feel that way when I do my finances, but I have to do my finances, or how am I going to be rich? Right?
Exactly. It's true.
It is so true. Okay.
That is true.
So guys, if you want to get access to this, which why am I saying if you want to get access to this, the link is in the description up above. I did have a little ticker saying go look up above for it, but it's not there. Roxanne, do you want to do one last pitch to tell everybody what they're going to get when they buy it?
Yes. When you get your business tracker bundle, first of all, it's you deciding to treat your business like a business. And with that in the bundle, you're going to get a dashboard that gives you all of the things in a pretty graph. So you can look at it in that way and see how you're doing and you're trending. You're going to get an expense and income financial tracker so you know how much money you're making and how much money you are spending. You'll also be able to track your volume for your team and personally, as well as your goals, and look at it all year to date. The point is, everything you need to know numbers wise is all in one bundle that's going to help you get really clear so you can make decisions for your business, so you can be the CEO of your business, and so that you can have longevity in your business. The end.
Yes. All right, guys, go get it. Get it now. If you don't get it now, then you can get it up until Black Friday for $47. But after that, it's going to go up to $97. So you can either be like me and spend more money just because, why not? We love spending money and burning it. Sure, no problem. Or you can start being financially responsible right now and buy it right now. All right. Awesome. Roxanne.
And
go ahead.
One more thing. The first expense you can put on there is your expense of your business tracker.
I was like, wait a minute. I think there's something nice job. I was like, wait a minute. I think I lost it. Oh my God. You're amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Sam, for sharing this with the community.